Hey, 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 what's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. It is our Thursday lunch bites with Coach LaDondra and Coach Don Shannon. Y'all, we are talking today about check yourself before you wreck yourself when it comes to building relationships in the marketplace. Y'all, oh, this is a juicy topic. Have you ever been in that place where you really do have to check yourself before you wreck yourself? And what do we mean by that? Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Well, there's some dynamics to this thing because you could be that person where you're at the event and I'm gonna just lay them out, then we're gonna talk about them. We're gonna lay them out, then we're gonna talk about them. So you could be that person that's the wallflower at the event and you ain't saying nothing and you just all up against the wall and people passing and you like got your head down and you just ain't making no eye contact. You like shy and all folded up. I done been that person several times. And sometimes I can find myself going back to that place because I'm like, ooh, I don't want to deal with the people today. But hey, why did you go to that event? And that's why, we're gonna talk about some of those things. You could be on the other side of the dynamics and you could be that highly extroverted person where you are like, I'm the one, look at me, I'm so great, and look at all the problems and the solutions I bring to the table, and I'm so amazing, and let me just here's my business card. By the way, I haven't even talked to you, but here's my business card. These are the type things that we have. And so what we want to talk about today is creating a healthy balance of so that you of what it means when you're building relationships, because it is about having a healthy balance. It really doesn't matter if you're extrovert, introvert. What matters is that balance, creating a balance and making it about people and not about yourself, because regardless if you're on the wall, you're still making it about yourself. If you're or regardless if you're here and you've been Miss I'm Amazing, you're making it about yourself. But when you really come in and you have a healthy balance and you're people focused instead of self focused, then you're able to really come in and connect and build relationships. So let's get into it. Coach Don, what do you have to add to that?
Uh, Let me find my microphone. Hey, everyone. You know what? Great start, and it's going to be really interesting today because we both attended a conference recently, and it's almost like the roles were reversed, you guys. So Coach Ladondra is the big introvert, and Coach Don tends to be the extrovert, and we almost flipped roles a little bit at that last conference that we attended. So it was really interesting, and still wrapping my brain around what happened, why did that happen, right? But we're going to talk about that because being intentional when you go into these events is really important, and so is going into to fill up, right? To fill yourself up with what you're going there to receive from the speakers, from the content of the event. There's two sides of it. So being intentional about your networking, marketing, all of that, building those relationships, but also intentional about why you wanted to attend the event in the first place. So there you go.
Yeah, I totally agree. And so, as we are navigating this new season and we're preparing for our own event with the inaugural Woke Leaders Conference, Woke stands for Women Operating Kingdom Enterprises, then we are really being intentional on setting the atmosphere for women, like minded kingdom builders to come together and feel a safe place where they can connect, grow, heal up, fill up, and build up. And so as you are preparing for those of you who are attending, these are going to be some amazing tips to help you as you are preparing yourself. The second thing is that regardless if you're coming to this event or any other events are important. Events are important. Let me say that again. Events are important. They're both online and offline, because even though you feel like, oh, I'm online, they can't see me, sis. Like, we see your name and we see you not showing up, and we see you just you being the wildflower. And then on the other side of it, or the wallflower, I keep wanting to say wow, wallflower. Then we also see you on the other side, where you're just like taking over the whole chat, and like you ain't, nobody else can see anything. It's just like you. Like, did you? It's really healthy for you to like somebody else's comment and engage with what they're doing and what they're saying, because then we still see you, and we see you from a different light. Instead of being overbearing, we see you as the encourager, we see you as the expert, we see you in different lights. And so, what's really important is that you want to show up within it to any event, whether it's online or in person, with a purpose. Why are you there? Why are you showing up to that event? That is so important for you to identify, because if you don't know why you're there, then you're going to find yourself engaging in self-sabotaging behaviors that's not serving the mission and the purpose for why you are there. Are you there because you just feel like you're supposed to do it, and you're really shooting on yourself instead of really empowering yourself to say, you know what? Yeah, I don't like being around people like that. And I am introverted and all the things. So go ahead and play that story. Play the story out at the house, and then be like, okay, but I do know that I really do need to show up and be the light. I'm a kingdom builder, and God's word tells me that I am the light, like a city set on a hilltop. And I have been giving tools and gifts and all the things to show up and be a light in dark places. And so I need to show up, and I don't need to be that wallflower. I need to show up, and I don't need to be overbearing, because if my light is overbearing, it could burn somebody. And so I can't, because think about the sun getting too close to a person. It does provide a lot of light, but if it comes too close to you, it's going to kill you. And so you don't want it to be overburdened as a light, but you want to be a big enough light to where you can see, and then people can really understand the value that you bring to the table, and most important, to really connect with you. So really identify, why did you show up at that event? What are you expecting to give out? But then more importantly, what are you planning on giving as well? Because both are important. Because if you don't show up, if you're the one that's like that big old personality, and you haven't identified what are you going to give beyond your business card and a bunch of you, what are you going to give that's not about you? Identify that, because see, the law of reaping and sowing tells us that we reap what we sow, and many of us are not being great seed sowers and sowing the gift of something that is not even related to us, because it could be that you're listening and you're encouraging, and in that same conversation, then you can show up and be that solutionary. So I just wanted to like throw that out, and then because it's a give and take. It's give and take when you're doing that. So know your purpose, know what you're going to give, and then know what you're expecting to get out of it. Coach Don?
You know what? Those are all really good points, Coach LaDondra. And when you were talking about that, I'm like, think about the people who are in the room, right? You're going to have your introverts, you're going to have your extroverts, and you're going to have the people that flip flop when they're in the room, like we did. Okay. When you go in, if you're really thinking about building relationships and nurturing relationships, shining your light could mean literally picking, one woman that you do see being that wallflower, right? And going over to her and building a connection with her and making her feel more comfortable in the room. Right. So that's super important. I love doing that because I have a heart for those people, right? Because I'm thinking I've been where she's been. I know how that feels to maybe they have no friends there. Maybe they came completely on their own and they are really feeling overwhelmed. They're feeling like, I know I quote should be here, but I just don't know what to do. Right. So go over there, introduce yourself, say, hey, did you come here with someone, whatever, and just encourage them and uplift them to make sure that they know that they're in the right place, whether it's your event or not. Right. You can still be that link to that woman who is feeling a little bit out of place, a little bit awkward, a little bit shy, a little bit unsure. So, you know what? And if you're that person too, well, then, you know, the two of you can buddy up and be like, girl, I'm not feeling so confident either. Let's partner up, you know, and have a friend here at least during this event, right? And you never know what relationship can be birthed right there just from opening your mouth and encouraging someone, you know, linking arms with them and saying, hey, come on, let's be conference buddies or whatever, right? And just find that commonality. You know, what brought you here? You know, why did you want to come to this event today? What were you hoping to get from this event? Just really starting to open up about why they're there. And it really takes the pressure off of you, you know, to be like, oh gosh, I have to meet all these people and I have to, you know, get my business card out there and I have to make all these connections. You know what? Sometimes it's that one connection that makes all the difference, because you never know who that one connection is. I remember, I'll tell this story. I went to an event locally, and it was a pretty big event, you know, lots of speakers and everything. And I just so happened to be in the restroom on a break, and, you know, just politely talking to this one woman. She happened to be Les Brown's daughter. And I was like, oh, you know, and I mean, not that, you know, there was any way to treat her any differently, right? But you treat everyone with respect, because you never know who you're going to run into, and you never know what kind of connection that could bring for you, for your business, for maybe your clients. There's always connections to be made. So Coach LaDondra, I know that you have a lot of great stuff to talk about connections in that regard, but I'll let you come in and talk about whatever you want to talk about next.
Okay, that was some awesome stuff. Y'all, I just, as Coach Don was talking, I got some power training to give you that was not even planned. So, hey, y'all want some power training? Y'all ready? Let's do it. Let me write it and put it in the chat. Ready, 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 ready. I want to see it. I want to see the energy, because, and I'm gonna wait for you. I'm gonna wait for it, because listen, you get what you get out of any event, what you put into it. And so, as your coach, I want to train you up to be prepared for what you're about to step into. So you gotta engage. And so if you don't put anything into it, you're not gonna get anything out of it. So you saying ready ain't about me. It's about you getting ready to step into your next level and be that change agent that you know that you would call it be, and building those relationships. You checking yourself before you wrecking yourself is showing up in that event and really getting ready from a mental standpoint and a practical standpoint, because both matters. You need mindset first, because where the mind goes, then the will flows. And so if it's not all lined up, then you're going to willfully stand on the wall, or you're willfully going to go and take over the whole event. And so we got to get ready. Okay, I'm glad I'm seeing some readies in the chat.
Yep.
Ready,
I'm
ready,
like,
ready.
Tabitha's here ready. Hey, Tabitha. Hey, Amber. They are ready to go. Hey, ladies.
Yes, 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 yes. And so okay, here we are. Here we are. So what came to my mind is, you know, because a lot of times it's like kind of hard to be like, how do I even connect with this person? And so I'm going to give you some touch points to really kind of think through as you're in that room and you're kind of looking for that connection point. And I'm going to do this using the DISC. DISC. And so the DISC is a personality assessment that has been used across just different platforms and industries and all types of things. But really, it assesses who you are from a personality standpoint. So let's go through this really quick. So there's the D. D stands for it's dominant. So people with a D personality, they typically have a dominant personality. They are your ones who are going to walk in the room. They got a lot of command. They are very confident, and they are leaders. And at any given point, they can call the shots at any point. And it's just like, and you kind of you're at all like, man, like like I need some of that. So you have those people. If you are engaging with a D personality, they're going to be the ones who are probably doing a lot of the talking, and they are bottom line results type people that don't want to hear you steady going and like and it's like they get lost in the conversation. I fit into a D personality. I have two that's pretty equal, and I'll share what the other one is. And so I fit into a D personality. So you start talking too much story, I'm gonna say, can you bottom line this for me? Because where are we going with this? And essentially what I'm trying to do, and my which serves as the other part of my personality, I'm trying to figure out what is it that you're needing, and how can I help or serve, or how can we connect, or whatever the case is. And so if you're coming into an encounter with somebody with a D personality, keep that in mind, and don't be intimidated by that person, because a lot of other personalities, they start to get an inferiority complex, because it's like, oh well, they're so great and all these different things, and so you start to get inferior, and you won't show up fully, and you will shrink. I don't want you to shrink. I want you to stand up. You have the same level of command and confidence, because you are the daughter of a king, just like they are the daughter or son of the king. And you share what you have, they share what they have. But what's really cool is, as you're listening to that deep personality, just listen. Connecting is about listening more than speaking in the first place. So let them go on, let them talk. And then you be collecting data, so that you will be able to know how to connect and be like, okay, so Sarah, you said that you've been trying to lose weight, and you've tried all the things. Listen, I have a phenomenal weight loss system that I'd love to share more with you about. I would love for us to connect after this event. I know it's a lot happening at this event, and it's loud and all the ththings, but I'd love to get to know your business a little bit more, and then share a little bit about my business and how we're able to connect further. Boom, done deal. Now you've made that initial connection, and then you have something. You can take out your phones, and then you can swap information, or you can say, hey, let's follow each other on social media. It's just as simple as that. Let's follow each other on social media, and then I'll DM you. Simple, right? And taking off the pressure. Y'all, I'm highly introverted, but I can turn it on, I can turn it off when I know what I want to do. Let's go to I. Our I personalities.
I'm
Go,
like,
go for it.
before you go, I'm just like, y'all, if you're not writing these points down, get your journal, get your notebook. This is some awesome training that you're getting for free right here, right now in the Lunch Bite. Write it down, okay? Because when you write it down, you're listening, you're writing, it sinks in, and then project it back out later. Like I'm the note taker, so y'all be writing it down, okay?
Thank you for that, Coach Don, because that is so true. A lot of times you're like, oh, I heard that. No, okay, but how are you applying what you heard? Okay, so the next one is an I personality. They're the influencers. And so they show up in the room. You're going to experience that they talk a lot. And so they're the talkers of the room. There's a study talking, talk, 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 talk. Hey, be you. But they're not trying to take over the conversation. They just love sharing stories. So you're going to find them in the networking, and they're just steady sharing stories. Yeah, and my kid, they were at college, and this happened, and da da da, and the dog bit my foot, and you're just like, what does this story have to do with anything that we're talking about? But in their minds, it's all going together. It's all going together, and they're connecting, and they're having a good time, because it's I personality is about having a good time. They want to make sure that you're having a good time. They want to make sure that they're having a good time. It's all a good time. It's a good old party. And so you're going to feel these are the people who is going to bring the party to the room. So in the D, where the D's and the I's and the S and the C's are not, the I's bringing the whole party. You want them there. I love when I show up. I don't like being in a room by myself with the I, because then they wear me out energetically. But I love being in the room with an I to bring the energy. We have a friend, Jade Brown Flynn. I'm calling you out, girl. She is an I. She wakes up. Hey guys, so what? And I'm like, no, hold it. I'm gonna need you to bring that down about 5 to 7 to 10 notches. Oh no, just bring it all the way down. And she's like, I'm just so happy to see you guys. And so when I woke up and I was thinking and I was dreaming, and then I just had an epiphany from the Lord. And I'm like, Jade, I don't even know what you're talking about right now. And so, but let me tell you, as an I, you are powerful. You are the influencers. But I want you, when you're in those networking events, know when to bring it in and know when to will it back. That's the first thing. Because with the be a powerful networker is you want to be able to listen more than you're talking. If you're doing all the talking, you never was able to hear what that other person's pain point was or their problem, and you were never able to make a connection to that person. So bring the fun and bring the life, because people gravitate to you for that. But know when to will it back and be intentional and purposeful about what you're showing up to do. Okay, that's the first tip I have for you. Number two, and for my eyes, don't apologize for being who you are. So even though I'm not like that, Jade never apologized for being who she is. And I never want you to apologize for being who you are, because you are the ones who bring life to the room. And for the people who don't like it, so be it. That's on them. That has nothing to do with you. Be true to how God has naturally wired you to be. Okay. Now let's move to our S people. Our S people, they are stable. They are the ones who are like the chameleons, and they blend in with the atmosphere. They want to make everybody else feel comfortable, and like all these different things. There are more S's in the world than there is any other personality profile. And so where I'm equal at, I'm a DS, and they were equal on my assessment. And so where I can be really commanding and confident, I'm very stable and encouraging and uplifting. And so I'm trying to get you to like calm down so I can hear what well I can help and encourage you and stuff like that. And so you kind of know, like, if you really like pay attention to your two most dominant ones, you can see how they influence and work together. And so when you're in a networking event, then you really understand, oh, okay, so this is why I'm my brain is like thinking like this. I'm not trying to be rude, because then at first I used to think that, okay, maybe I'm not trying to be rude. I'm really trying to understand what it is that you're needing. And it really serves me as a coach, because I can help you to break out of your story real quick, connect with you, and then help to encourage you where you're trying to go. And so, the same is true for you guys. And so really understand what that is. But I want to caution you, as an S personality, it's not about everybody else. You are important too. So yes, you're going to be a wonderful listener. You're the one where you just sit there and you just listening and listening and listening and listening. And before you know it, you're drained, and you didn't get nothing out of that interaction. So you have to be bold enough to step up and say, yeah, by the way, like I love that too. So, and jump in and say, to engage and create some type of interaction, or create some type of value to the conversation that is being had. And it could be that you are just saying, I have a college student too, and so I know what that feels like. Because see, ultimately, when you are coming into an event, it's really about getting to know that person at a deep level. And as you're getting to know that person, you're also allowing them to see you too. Because see, a lot of times we just want to let the other person become naked, and we won't become naked and free, and be create an authentic, genuine relationship. And when you allow those layers to come down, you are connecting at a deeper level, and that's building that know, like, trust factor really fast. And the person on the other end is like, oh, there's just something about her, I just like her, and I don't even know what it is. It's because you listened well, you contributed well, and you had a really healthy balance. So don't be a doormat as an S, and just like, well, I gotta be there for everybody, so you are there for a purpose too. And so you're listening and you're contributing and adding value. Last one, the I personality. So our I people, they are our detail oriented individuals. And so they are, I forgot what, I mean, not the I, the C people. Our C people, they're conscious, and they are our detail oriented people. They're conscious about the details. It's all in the details, all in the details. And so they're paying attention to everything you're doing, how you're speaking, how your face wrinkle up, what you got on. And you know what I would like to say as a C people, and here are some cautions for you. You have some good things and you have some things to be cautious, just as I've given up with all of the personalities. So with a C personality, you got to make sure that you're not so focused on the details that you're not paying attention to the conversation that's being had. Number one. Number two, you're not getting lost in the details, and you're not so paying attention to all of it that you're being over analytical to the situation where it comes off as you're being judgmental. And it's not your intention. What your intention is that you feel like you're solving the problem. And your intention is that you feel like you're showing up and you're being that one that's like, okay, because you're listening, like, how can I fix the problem? Because it's in the details. Like, you're wired for the details. How can I fix the problem? Quit worrying about fixing the problem. There's not a problem right now. You just need to listen. You just need to listen, take it all in, and build a relationship. And then as you are building that relationship, you let the data come into your head and you be like, oh, okay, Mary, that was amazing. Like, it sounds like you really bring some great stuff to the table. I really paid attention. See, listen, now you're using the gift of your details. I really paid attention to how passionate you are about that subject. And I would like to connect with you on a deeper level because I do something similar. See, just because you do something similar doesn't mean you have to be in competition with that person. I do something similar, and I feel like that we can be really great collaborators. Let's talk about what this will look like and set up a 15-minute call, because I know we're not going to be able to get nothing done here, but girl, you talking my language. Like, I mean, I heard you line by line, precept by precept, and we got some good stuff to talk about. You see how I used that my personality as a gift. I didn't use it to judge. I didn't use it to try to fix a problem. I didn't use it for none of that. I just showed up great in my lane. Does that make sense? Coach Don, where are you taking from what I'm putting out here?
Y'all, that is so good. I'm just laughing because I can see my personality and I can see her personality, and I'm like, yep, right on point. So, but that's also why coming into the room, knowing your personality style and knowing how to use that to your benefit is really important, right? Knowing what you bring to the table and knowing where maybe those, not flaws, but like you said, the cautionary tales, right? Don't sit back and just be in problem solving mode the whole time, right? Engage with people, don't go into wallflower mode, don't be only the life of the party and outshining everyone else, right? There's that healthy balance to every single one of these that she just listed out. And so I really hope you guys were taking notes so that you can go back. And then when you are coming to our Woke Leaders Conference in September, then you can apply these things that we just talked about today, right? You can come in the room and you can know, and if you haven't taken that assessment, then go online and look for the DISC assessment. There's all kinds of personality assessments that you can take, and most of them are free. Some might cost a little bit, but just go and see what you are if you're not sure. Like, well, I feel like I'm resonating with this one, but I'm not really sure. And then it'll give you a whole scenario of, here's where your strengths are, here's where some weaknesses are. So things that you can be aware of when going in, and then being very intentional about being consciously aware of how you're presenting yourself, right? And if those weaknesses are coming through and they're not serving you well, then go, okay, I recognize this. I heard Coach LaDondra talk about this. What do I need to do to flip it around so that, again, I can connect well with others in the room? And I love what you were talking about, like, hey girl, I hear what you're saying. I'm with you. Let's connect later because it's so loud in here. And I know we're not going to have enough time to get through the whole thing. Like, that is a brilliant way to just grab their information and, connect with them later, because in events like that, you are really wanting to listen and engage, with the speakers, with what you're there trying to learn, with other people, right? Sometimes you do not want to just stay with one person the whole time. You want to work the room and see, who else can I pour into? What other connections do I need to make? Who do I know that they may need to be introduced to? Right? I mean, that's a big part of it, is like, you're a connector because you know people that they don't know. And they may be telling you something that they've been struggling with for a long time. And you're like, well, girl, let me introduce you to so and so. She is just going to help you with that problem like that. Like, that is her specialty. She has helped other people like get through that in no time at all. Let me give you her contact info, or let me get yours and I'll do an email introduction later or whatever. Just being very intentional about your style and their style, and then taking it offline after the event, but getting that contact info while you're there, so then you can follow up with them later. So all really good points. I'm glad that was dropped into your spirit, Coach LaDondra. Love it, love it, love it.
Yes, absolutely. So one thing I want to pull out just really quick is y'all, did y'all see what she just did? She said, let me see what I can do for you. Let me make an introduction for you. Because see, listen, whoever is the biggest giver becomes top of mind. And so even though you didn't make a sale there, it wasn't about the sale in the first place. It was about the serve. And so he who serves more is the one who gets whatever it is that you need. So it says, the scripture says, give and it will be given to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over in your lap. So you got to show up with a servant mentality. Yeah, I'm going to be the biggest giver in the room. And when you're the biggest giver, I promise you're going to be remembered. And so you make that introduction, it's going to be like, oh my gosh, like she did that for me. I need to figure out how to be like to show up and do something for her, because she didn't have to do that. And she just came at a moment where I felt like I was so depressed, I was stressed, and I needed that introduction. I needed somebody to walk with me. And she heard me. There's nothing like being feel heard. You feel heard. And in a place, in a crowd where it's so much noise, the best gift you can give to a person is allow them to know that they were heard. I saw you, I heard you, and here is something that I have to offer you. And guess what? They're going to want to reciprocate that. And that's what leaders do. Leaders show up and they model what they model. And what they model is by being a servant. They model being a servant. And when you model being a servant, it comes back to you 100-fold, just whatever fold the Lord has for you, it comes back to you. So, all right, guys, I hope that you're taking these, because this I could have charged money for this, just like at the wazoo, because I'm showing you how to show up, because this affects the way you position your brand. This affects the way you network. This affects the way you write. So when you know yourself and your unique personality, you know how to show up powerfully in any room, whether it's physically, in person, it's or virtually, or you're writing it in your blog and you're showing up in the room on your blog or in your book or whatever the case is. Now you start to learn how to appeal to different personalities so that they feel seen, heard, and validated. So y'all, I hope that you took this in, and I hope that you're going to be in the room at the Woke inaugural conference, as we are women operating kingdom enterprises that are healing up, filling up, and building up. And we're stripping away from doing things the world's way, because the world's way say push, 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 and project yourself on the others. What the word says is it's about kingdom collaborations. And the only way that you can collaborate is first know thyself. It says, love thy neighbor as you love yourself. And if you don't know yourself, how can you love yourself? And if you don't love yourself, how can you pour into somebody else and serve others? And so this is what it's about. And these are the type of things that you strip away, you walk away when you're going to come into the room, because we're going to get past the things that's been holding you back from showing up fully in your personality. Because maybe somebody have told you that you're too much as an I. And so you've shunned down and you've become a doormat, and now you're not walking in the fullness of your calling. Maybe somebody has told you that you, as a D personality, you're too dominant and I don't even like being around you. So then now you like, I need to be the lonely woman on the island. And so I'll just do me because they don't like me anyway. That's not godly either. Maybe you're that C and you're like, well, I'm just so negative and judgmental and I don't even know why I'm so judgmental, and just like, oh my gosh. And you just like got all this head trash going on, and you make one small mistake, and then it's like you're judging yourself and you can't even get past it. You can't get past it to go into another level of freedom. If you're that S, you're just like everybody, it's about everybody else. No, it's about you. Be the light. Show up in this room, because there's something powerful that you need to draw from this room at the conference, September 23rd through the 24th, Arlington, Texas. I hope to see you at the registration table, because we got some cool gifts that we're going to hand out to you. We're going to connect in power circles. And when we get in those power circles, sis, that's going to be your opportunity to activate the words that you've gotten into this conference and to collaborate in sisterhood in the way that you uniquely collaborate to receive what you need. So I'll see y'all on the other side. Check you later. LaDondraHervey.com/conference. And there's sponsorship opportunities that I would encourage you to check out. So if you are a business owner, you want to get your brand out in front of 250 ladies that are entrepreneurial heart and kingdom builders, you definitely want to check out those sponsorship opportunities. All right, guys, see you later.